Hey y'all, it's Vanessa with Farmgirl Gardens and Market, and today I am showing you how to set up a cheap or free compost system. And so if you have the space to do an outdoor large pile system, there's really nothing better than allocating some free resources like pallets that you can pick up for free from any of your local box stores. You do need to ask because sometimes those stores get a credit for returning them, so just make sure that those are something you can take. Or if you have things delivered by pallet, sometimes you have that situation, and rather than paying someone to haul it off or having to do something with it, creating a compost system like this is a good use. So for me and my purposes, all that I have done is set them on their sides, and then I've got these T-posts into the ground that they are tied to. I have only two systems or two bins set up in this system, my hot or my active one, and the one that the finished compost will go into as I'm turning. And so basically anytime that you're making a compost pile, what you want to be mindful of is your ratios of carbon, which is typically your brown, your things like your leaves, your dried cut grass, your paper shred, and then your green, which is your nitrogen. That's your kitchen waste. Coffee grinds, even though they're brown, actually have a nitrogen profile to them, so your coffee grinds. And then for me right now, anything that you're pulling out of the garden. And so for us, we are pulling out our sweet potatoes, so I've got just a bunch of the sweet potato vine. And then any of the little nibbles of sweet potatoes that break when you're pulling them out, I'm throwing that in there too. And so I'm just alternating that in layers here, as you can see. And then another thing that I'm using for my browns is all of the leaves kind of on my property. If you have a pool, a really easy way to just collect a bunch of leaves is set up one of these kangaroo pop-up baskets right next to your filter basket, and then in your weekly maintenance, when you're emptying your filter basket, just put them in here, and by the end of the week, especially this time of year, you'll have an entire thing of leaves to put in. So a couple of ways that you can help accelerate your burn is by adding in the smallest size particle that you can get your hands on. If you have the time to chop or process your kitchen waste, that's great. If you don't, put a call out to your neighborhood via Facebook or Nextdoor and see if maybe there's a juicer in your area, because they typically have a lot of pulp, and pulp is a really great micro-sized particle to work with instead of like a big chunk of sweet potato or kitchen waste. Another thing you can do to help your pile burn is if you have an established compost pile already, borrow some of that compost and use that as kind of like a compost Kickstarter. And so that's what this is. I'm going to be layering that in as well as I alternate my layers. And then just another good source of getting some quick volume to your pile is just good old manure. And so not only do we have the donkeys that help provide a source of manure for us, but we actually have a local horse owner who comes and delivers his manure to us, so that he's not having to pay dump fees, and that we get some volume of manure to work with as we're turning it over into our compost systems and turning it into black gold for our garden. So that is all I wanted to share with you today. I hope that y'all are doing well, and if you need any tips via telecoaching, or if you're local to me, I'm in the Lucas, Allen, Plano area, and so I would love to come alongside you in your fall gardens as you're getting those ready to either overwinter or getting things established and set up to start growing strong in the spring. So I hope that y'all are well, and that is all that I've got on how to create a quick, cheap, or free compost system. Until next time, y'all. Bye, guys.